Hey everyone, welcome to another daily cinephile vlog. I just wanted to let you all know about a movie I saw tonight. When You Finish Saving the World. This is Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut. It stars Julianne Moore and Finn Wolfhard. It's actually based on an Audible podcast series that Jesse Eisenberg produced as well. I never listened to the series, but this movie is about pretty much a contentious relationship between a mother and her older teenage son. And I didn't have any expectations for this movie going in. I know it premiered at Sundance last year. I just knew Jesse Eisenberg's name was attached to it. I had seen some different promos for the movie, and I figured I'd give it a watch. It's weirdly enough at both of our local theaters, but it looks like the movie only had like about 400 screenings across the country, and it didn't look like it made much money at all, so I was a bit shocked it was even at our theaters, let alone both of them. But anyway, what do I think of the movie? I wish for this type of movie that I could say I loved it. I wish I could say I kind of found a somewhat hidden gem, a movie that isn't getting talked about a lot and hasn't been shown in many theaters yet. But unfortunately, I just wasn't so into this movie. Off the bat, it's a very short movie. It's only 88 minutes long. I mean, no complaints there. I'm always up for a shorter movie. But in a way, I can't figure out if maybe the movie should have been a little longer or if the movie would have been more effective as a short film. There's some elements to it that I do enjoy. The arguments between the mother and the son, I think, work effectively. And honestly, if they would have just focused on that, made a short film about how both this mother and this son tried to fill that family relationship void with a different relationship. Finn Wolfhard is trying to impress a girl at his local school, and meanwhile Julianne Moore is trying to get connected with a different child who's the same age as her son. He's actually at the women's shelter with his mom, which Julianne Moore works at, and she's trying to help him and I guess save him by trying to get him into college rather than going and working at a auto shop right out of high school. But both of them try to fill this relationship void with a similar, different relationship. And I think if it was done as a short film, that actually would have been really interesting. Or if the movie was longer, we would actually get to know a little more about these characters. Frankly, the way that it is, it just feels like an incomplete movie. I feel like we're missing an act, and the story just doesn't progress in a natural way. It's very clunky. I feel like we're just thrown into things immediately. By the time anything's really happening, it wraps up very quickly, and we're at this unearned ending that I just wasn't into. The characters are very unlikable. I have my questions about, well, for starters, Finn Wolfhard, I know they're trying to do the thing where he's the kid, he's just misunderstood as a teenager, but honestly, he's just an asshole. That's all it is. Julianne Moore, I have questions about her because I feel like she's a little creepy the way that she tries to enter this other boy's life. I thought it was a little disturbing at times. And granted, that's the kind of humor this movie's going for. It's trying to make you uncomfortable. I understand that. But if you're going to do something where the characters aren't that likable, they're meant to be jackasses, I think you need to make the movie a black comedy. And this movie tries to do that at times, but for the most part, it's very tonally inconsistent. I never really know what type of humor they're going for. And also, I mean, there's other movies that have unlikable lead characters that you root for in a way, or you want to see their downfall. But with this movie, I just found them to be very unpleasant to be with. And they have an ending that doesn't seem to be built for these two characters. I don't think this was an earned finale at all. I also feel like Julianne Moore's just carrying this movie. I feel like she is bringing a great performance, but the rest of them, I don't really have much to say. I feel like this movie does have an audience. If you're a person who really enjoys Jesse Eisenberg's work, I think you would like this movie. I think it's based a lot on his actual personal experience. And, you know, the performances, Finn Wolfhard especially, is very much Jesse Eisenberg-esque. So I see what they're going for with that. And, you know, for fans of Jesse Eisenberg, I think you would enjoy this movie. This movie, I just felt like it was cynical all around, and I couldn't get behind it. And on top of it, as a comedy movie, it's just not a very funny movie. I think I would give it 2 out of 5 stars. I won't be returning to it. Like I said, I could maybe see getting expanded into a longer, more cohesive story, or I could see them maybe trying to do something a little more stylistic with a short film, but keep some of these elements in. As is, it just feels like a weird in between, and it didn't work for me, unfortunately.